All right, good morning, guys. Guys and girls, I should say. We are just getting ready to start our pre-trip. I'm a little bit over my 10 here, so 10 hours, 44 minutes off duty. But we're going to start pre-trip here, and I'm going to kind of go through a pre-trip inspection, show you what I'm looking for on these trucks, and kind of just go off of all that aspect to show you. So we're going to start off in the mornings. We get out. I apologize. My truck is a mess up here in the front. I'm trying to get to a truck stop, throw my trash away. So you will see some trash up here. So I apologize for that. Anyway, so we're going to go through this process and kind of just show everybody what we look at, what we're inspecting. So very first thing is we're going to sign off on our log from yesterday, because now that is finished. So we're going to sign that off. I'm going to plug back in my tablet here because I didn't recognize that it was off here. So that one's charging my battery pack. All right, so we're going to get that charged up, or charging. And then we are going to switch this over to on duty, put in our notes here, pre-trip inspection, save that. Now we're on duty. So now we're going to proceed to do our inspection. All right, so grab our gloves here, grab our rag, check the oil. All right, so guys, what we first do when I first get out of the truck in the mornings for a pre-trip, I like to step back from her. Basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at everything on the front end of my truck here. So I'm looking at the load, I'm looking for any leaning, any type of leaning, and anything out of the ordinary. I'm looking at my windshield, make sure if it's broken, I've got any big cracks in it, any of that stuff. I do have some cracks in my bumper here, but that's nothing big. Now the other thing is I'm also looking underneath the bumper. I'm looking underneath the truck, look for any fluids, obvious signs of problems. My truck looks like it's good, other than she's dirty as heck from all the weather we've been having lately. So same thing on this side. As I come over here, I'm just looking down this. Now at this point, I'm looking at my outer steer tire. I'm looking for any obvious cracks, any fluids, any signs of loose lug nuts, anything like that. So that's another thing I'm looking at on the steer tire, and looks good to me. I don't see any obvious cracks, wear signs, nothing like that. Tread looks good and tight. Good and tight. Jeez, it's definitely morning. It's got plenty of tread on it. Looks good. We're gonna take our stuff off there, get our hood latches undone. Now, kind of same thing on this side. I got my hood latch undone now, but I'm looking at my driver's step. And same thing, we're looking at this rim. So I'm looking for any obvious damages, cracks, anything bad. And I am definitely embarrassed because I definitely want to get these all polished up from the winter. This was salty winter. Anyway, so look for any types of wear coming off of this from like wobbling, loose lug nuts, any types of cracking. Now I do have a alignment issue, so I'm losing that shoulder of this tire, but the tread looks pretty good. So we're still pretty good on tread. My mirror's good, windshield's still looking good. All right, so now we'll pop our hood open. All right, so first things first, we come over to this side. I definitely am in need for a oil change. So we're gonna be looking at this. I definitely need a shock, it looks like. So we'll have to go up to the shop when I go get the oil change later today and have them change out my shock absorbers, because that shock is leaking. So this is one of the reasons for the pre-trip right there. So we've got a leaky shock, so we'll take that up. Kind of surprising because that's a newer one, but we'll take it up to shop, have them change that sucker out and get a new one on it. We'll check the other side, make sure it's good. But you can see our fuel here. Our fuel filter is dark. I am in need of an oil change, so that is normal. No leaking coming off that fuel filter, so we're good there. All right, we're gonna check our oil here. Definitely dark and definitely needs it. Woo! Definitely gonna get an oil change later today, that's for sure. So that is something that's gonna happen today. So, all right, we're a little on the low side. Could be because we're kind of leaning. So we're okay. We're on the low side a little bit. But like I said, I'm getting oil change today, so that's gonna get topped off. Anyway, so basically here, I'm looking on the inside of this wheel. I'm looking for any oil that's leaking down from the hub, make sure that it's not losing a wheel seal. I'm looking at all my linkages, rock my steering a little bit. So we're looking here, we're looking at the top up here. I'm looking down here at the connection knuckles, make sure my pins are all there. So we got a pin right there, got a pin right here, and then your steering arm on the other side, gotta make sure your pins are there. So we do have a pin down there, everything's locked in, nice and solid. Now I'm looking at my leaf spring, make sure we don't have any cracks in it. Like I said, the shock is leaking, we're gonna get that replaced. We'll go, we'll take that down the road, we'll get that replaced and get that fixed. That is a violation, but it's not an out of service. So, but it is gonna get fixed today because I do not want that leaking. Anyway, so now we're looking at our belts, look for any fraying. I got a little bit of fray right here, but we're looking good there. Our main belt, oh, I'm bouncing into things here, sorry. But our main belt right here, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at our fan blade. Fan blade looks good, nothing's broke on that. Washer fluid, we got washer fluid there. I'm looking at all my boots here. I'm looking for any holes in any of this. Now this one's usually, sorry, everything's coming by. This one's not too bad. They do happen every once in a while. They'll happen and get something where they'll get a hole, they'll rub through these lines, so be careful of these. It's usually on the boost side. This is the cold side. The hot side is usually where you get that wear. We're gonna check our power steering. So power steering looks like it's good, other than our caps like messing up. And then we're gonna kind of look down the frame. I'm looking for anything touching on the transmission, any wires that are chafing, anything like that. I'm also listening for air. So I did run the truck a little bit this morning, so it's got full of air because I had to cook my breakfast. But so she's got air in her. So I'm listening for that air. I don't hear nothing. So now we're gonna go to the other side. Do the same kind of thing over here. So I'm looking. I got a little bit leaking on that, coming off that one, so we might have 2 shocks we need to replace. So the other thing is I'm looking at, see if there's any type of anything on this inner wheel seal over here, just to make sure that that is all from the oil of the shock absorber. So that's a crucial, because there is all this wet stuff down here. I want to make sure that that is all from that shock absorber. So we're checking the motor over real good on this side because there is a lot of spray, but that is, it looks like that is 100% from that shock absorber. So we'll probably have to change out both of these, which kind of sucks, but it is kind of a thing though. If you have one side blown out, it's probably good to change out both. So so yeah, we're gonna basically go down and get those changed out. Coolant's looking good. We're full, cold full. We didn't have any heat in the motor, so this is a good level. Now these are the ones that you definitely want to watch, because they are the ones that usually will get the wears on them because they come straight off the turbo. So, and then we're gonna look at everything on this side of the motor, make sure our air intake's good, make sure our cover for our HVAC's on. Look out down the exhaust. Now this turbo is fairly new, so I don't want any issues there. Make sure we're not leaking oil from any of the oil. Filtered housings, coolant housing, water pump is all right here. So we've got new lines on that. So check this side of the fan blades, radiator. We're looking down here on the frame. Make sure we got no fluid leaking off of there. And I think we are pretty much good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and fire up and proceed with the inspection. So usually, like I said, we'll come around back around here. I'm gonna kind of try to clean that up a little bit because that looks horrible. So that might, you know, I'm looking at it, that might just be grease and stuff, but that other side definitely looks like it's got a leak out of it. This might have been leaked out, but we'll be safe and change them out anyway. All right, so we'll put our rag back because we don't need that anymore. All right, truck's on. Now here's the fun part about these newer trucks. We've got its checklist right there. Turns on all of our lights and goes through a process. All right, so we're in our inspection mode now. I'm looking over the truck, making sure there's no fluid. It's spraying out, leaking. That's all looking good, running good. Come over here to the other side, do the same thing. We got an active flow right there coming back in. It tells me I got pressure to my coolant system. Everything's going on good on that. Okay, we'll close the hood up. All right, so we're gonna go down on this side now and latch it up. While we're here in the front, I'm checking my clearance lights, checking my I-beams, headlights. Now my fog lights will turn back on. There's your fogs. My regular headlights are on. We'll cinch down the hood so the hood's fully cinched down. We do have air to the trailer. So now we're gonna grab our other tool here and we'll go down the whole truck now and check everything out. All right, so we're checking our clearance lights. I got clearance lights down the side here. We're all lit up. I do have that nice black eye there. Everything looks good back here, so we're gonna check the tires. Good there. Now I'm gonna go to the inside. I wanna make sure there's nothing in between them. I'm looking at the other set too. And I'm gonna check my suspension here. I'm also listening for air. I do have a glad hand that is leaking a little bit, so that is a seal right there is leaking. But I don't have one on me, so I gotta pick that up from the truck stop later today. So we're checking our brakes here, brake systems. We're looking for any type of leaking on any of the axles. We're looking for any kind of fluid coming off the brakes. That'll show brake contaminants. I'm also looking at the Torx, making sure they still got their grommets in there. Nothing's cracked. Looking for any cracking on the frame. Everything looks good there. So we're good there. We're gonna come out to the outside. Same thing, look for any of the normal wear signs. Now I have these nice spikes on here, so they kind of keep everything locked in tight, which is nice, but look for any cracking on this rim. I'm not seeing any, so that's good. We'll check our other tires here. They're both good. We're looking at our suspension. Make sure the grommets are there. Bolts are all still there. Same thing on these tires. Look for any damages to our tires. Any damages to the rims that we can visibly see. Airbags are all still good, aired up. Our rear lights are all on and working. Markers are on. All right, now we're onto the trailer. So we're gonna visibly look at our fifth wheel, make sure nobody's pulled our pin. That's locked in. Clearance light, turn signal is working here. Now we're gonna check our load over. We gotta make sure our straps are nice and tight. So our load's fully secured. Look for any damages up top on these. Make sure it's still blocked in, we're still tight. Now here's the reason why we do a pre-trip. Look at how this strap has moved. So the strap's moved off to the side and it's trying to pull off this tire. So that needs to be adjusted before we roll, so that strap doesn't come off. Now it's an easy fix because of how this trailer is set up. We've got all these different holes we can choose from. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just move this over to where it's hooking onto this, and then we're gonna fix our strap, slide it back onto this tire a little more. Just simple like that, just simple little things like that. But that could really make a bad day, because if we lose that tire securement, we're going on some really bumpy roads here today, and I really don't want to lose that block. So next thing we're going to do is, right there's another piece. So this trailer, to be fully secured and legal, you have to have these safety pins in. These safety pins basically they're just like in a pickup truck. They lock in. Oh, sometimes they're a pain in the butt to put in there. Oh, come on. Oh, this is how we get dirty. Oh. All right. If my wife is watching, don't tease me too much when I get home and about trying to find a hole, because I'm struggling again. All right, come on. There we go. There we go. We got it. All right. So yeah, that's part of it. All right, so gotta have those safety pins in to count that as a securement. So this trailer's got 2 straps on it. These are not part of that. This also has an A-frame underneath here for a warranty piece that I had to carry out. So we're checking that, checking our straps on this one. Make sure our center rail, because we had to move it for this trailer on the back here. So I got a gooseneck trailer on the back here. So we're checking that. Now we're back to the trailer. Check our tires, got some good pressure there. Now we got some residual oil from it, like basically breathing. But we're checking all our lugs here. They're all tight. Nothing's moved. There's no cracks in those rims. Fairly new rims. Now, this is a fun trailer to haul. As you can see, I got barely any movement here, or gap here. So this one's got to not move on me. So on this one, I've got the tires. I've got the tire tied down on this back side. Then I've got a strap coming from the frame to the front, and then from here I've got the safety chains of the trailer on here pulling back, so we're sucking it into the trailer. But you've got 2 straps that are basically pulling on each other, making an A-frame. So now we're checking our back lights. Looking good on that. We got a dim license plate light, but it's on. All right, now we'll start down this side, do the same thing. So we're checking everything. Straps are all still good. This one's got a lot more bleed on it, but I was told that when I got the trailer, this one was overfilled. So, all right, so we're looking under here. I'm looking for any signs of any type of cracking or anything like that. I'm also listening for any air leaks, which I'm not seeing or hearing anything. So we'll look across, make sure our bags are all still good, everything's still attached. This one's I'm gonna have to get down and look under. check and make sure we've got all of our pins that are in these. And I think that one is missing one, so I'm gonna have the guys that do my, yeah, that one is missing one. So when I get down to get my oil change, I'll have them put a pin in that. It's still attached, so the slack adjuster is still gonna work, but we want to have that pin in there. So everything else looks really good under here, so we're good there. Alright, check our strap here. Now these things that happen with pins, things like this is why we do pre-trips. I'm not embarrassed by it because it's not that brake is still good. So I'm just showing certain aspects. Now this is the second trip I've had with this trailer. So all the little quirks and stuff, I'm still trying to work out. So be understanding of that in the comments. But yeah, so it's not too bad. It's a good trailer, very well built, sturdy. Looks like all our lights turned off, but we got to check that already. So same thing on this side. Check all of our tires. Check anything for any type of leaks. Checking our brake thicknesses. Same thing on slack adjusters. We're checking all that stuff. And because we're turned like this, we can do it right here. But I like to get under here and just visually look up at that fifth wheel coupling. Just make sure we're good there. We're looking around the fifth wheel plate for any cracks. So that part's all good. Checking for any fuel leaking. Yeah, I think we're good on that. So now we're gonna move to the inside. This is the final part of our test. This is all stuff that they do on level 1 inspections, by the way. So keep that in mind for level 1s. So, but we're gonna step up in here. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna push my clutch in, I'm gonna put it in gear, we're gonna turn the truck off. So, and then we're gonna release our tractor brakes. Now my clutch is out, it's holding by transmission. So our test here, we'll turn the key to the on position. We'll get our air pressures to come up. So we're reading, right now, it's still going up, reading about 110 right now, which is good. That's good for a tractor release. So tractor release on this. So we're gonna push our brake and we're just bleeding it down, bleeding our airbags, or bleeding our air suspension down. And we want to see it come down to 60 PSI. That's what we want. Primary air pressure low. So we want the light and the notification. Then we're going to go down a little bit further. We want the secondary to turn on. Secondary turns on, so now we got that warning sign. That's a pass. That's what you want. So now we're going to bleed it down until these pop. Should happen about 30 PSI on number 2, secondary air pops. So primary's down at 20. When secondary gets down, it should pop them. There they go. So they both popped out. That is a pressure valve system that you got to check on your truck. You want to know that those work. So they're built to last up to 30. So that's why I say, like, primary went down past 30 and they didn't pop, but that's because secondary was still at 50, and because that pressure was still there, they won't pop. So when it came down here to 30 where it's at now, they popped. So that's what they're designed to do. So that's a pass. That just passed. So we're gonna fire up the truck. Brakes are on. Now we're just watching the compressor. It's most likely, the compressor is basically gonna build up, it's most likely gonna build up my primary first. Yep, primary's going up now. So it'll get up to about 60, turn that one off, and then the secondary air will turn on. So we're done with that, so we can come in here and we'll do our inspection report. Show that we did one on our logbook. If it will work, because we're out in bad phone service. There it goes, there it goes. Tripping out on me. Mark it down as pre-trip. Truck was in good shape, so we're good there. Going to our trailer. Pre-trip, good. And like I said, I'm not marking down, and you can fault me for this, I'm not gonna mark down those things that I've discovered, because I'm fixing them today. They're going to be fixed today. So they're real simple, real easy. We'll have everything done today on them, so I'm not worried about that. So go back to this real quick. Primary air is at 100. Secondary air is just now starting to come up and see life in it. That is a standard in all trucks. The primary air will always build up first, and then secondary air will build up slowly until primary air gets to a certain point. Mine looks like it's 105, and then secondary air will build real fast. That's normal, so don't ever think that that's like, oh geez, what do I do? That's normal. Should go off here in a second. There we go. So that is the air test. That is a simple way to do the air test. It's all done, it's finished, we're good to roll now. That is a pre-trip, guys. That's what we got to do every day. Now, a lot of us, I'm being one of them. Every time I'm out of the truck, I'm always looking at my components. So pre-trips usually only take 15 minutes. Because of me narrating this, we were at 20 minutes long. So understand, you can get through a pre-trip in 15 minutes, do everything properly. So that's what you're required to do by DOT with an air system. Now, my old trailer was an electric over hydraulic brake system, and those ones are a lot simpler to do pre-trips on, so they don't have all the extra steps that you have to do. But anyway, we'll release the trailer brakes again. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching this to the end. I hope this kind of was educational for some of you guys if you're trying to get a CDL. I hope I hit on everything as much as possible. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to answer anything I can for you. So if you are working on getting a CDL, good luck to you. Welcome to the road, and just remember to be safe out here. Safety's priority. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day.